and dirty.
Recording. Anybody say anything? I think we got the dirty statement there, but I think we got and dirty as the start of the video. I like it.
Dirty. So if you remember the last time we did authentication, there was a lot of code that you had to type up, right? But the first thing for this one is basically it's not a lot of code. You just have to do a little more research depending on what you want to use for OAuth. And OAuth means that, oh, hold on, let me share my screen here. So when you do the OAuth, you're using another system to authenticate the user. So that'll be Google, LinkedIn, whichever you prefer. We're going to actually use GitHub. So what I need everybody to do is, if you're coding along, I'm going to show you where to go in your GitHub. Just waiting for this to load here. I believe you go to settings. All right, so you're going to go to settings in GitHub, and then you're going to go to developer settings. So, and you can see here you got GitHub apps and you got OAuth apps. So you want to go to OAuth apps, and you want to create a new OAuth app. So I already created one. Once it's created, there's not much you have to do, is just create one. It's going to give you this secret token. And the most important thing about this, I can't stress this enough, is write it down or put it in a secure file, because once you move from the page, you will never see that again. This secret token. And it's absolutely
That's
necessary.
why it's a secret.
Right. So, and the other thing is too is you can revoke all these tokens, but they get kind of finicky. They won't let you delete one unless if you create another one. So basically, when you create one, so let me just create a new secret client. Hopefully, I can remember my login. So as you can see here, see how it shows the secret client?
Now I have what I need to act like you.
Right. Well, no, this one's going away. So it'll only let you delete is if there's more than one. If there's only one, it won't let you delete. So, boop, deleted.
Good call. Now again, this is one of those items I will say, make sure that if you're using these kind of secret keys in your projects, that for a production level project or a project that you're putting up to GitHub, the key is in some sort of ignored file. Remember that. These types of keys need to be in a file that's ignored or in an environment variable. So remember, those are the two tools you have to keep your keys and API keys and secret keys safe. Get ignored files that are imported, or environment variables. So those are your two methods. Those are your two most common methods. There are, of course, other methods, but those are the two most common.
Right. So let's see here. So we're just going to create a new project.
David, what are we supposed to put for the homepage URL and auth callback URL?
You can do local host.
Oh, okay.
Scroll down a little more. Scroll down a little more.
So see, I've got localhost 8080.
Okay.
Localhost 8080 for the callback URL. Here's my description. Here's the name that I gave it. And of course, you can update all of these things if you want, but just use localhost.
Yeah, I will say as a common use of OAuth, usually the callback URL should be like / and then the OAuth source. So normally I would do like localhost 8080 / GitHub in case you're
Right.
going to use multiple different OAuth systems. You know who is replying back. You know which tool is saying, hey, here's the token for this item. Because what the OAuth is going to do is going to reply back with URL query parameters that you're going to need to save. But you'll see that when David gets to it.
All right. So once you've created your OAuth app on GitHub, you want to create a new project. With Spring Boot. Oh yeah, funny story. This thing doesn't like it when you use capital letters, so
I don't think NPM init did either.
I think like packages, they all got to be lowercase. There we go.
all right. So artifact, you can use the dashes to separate the names and use the same one for the project name. For the package, I always put the API so I can see the files differently. Because if not, it's weird how it creates the file structure. So I can separate it from the group ID and the package name. All right. So we are going to need Spring Web. Check. Well, we'll start this way because I can't remember the exact name of the packages, but I know the dependencies. You know, I wish they would name the dependencies just like they named them here.
Makes sense.
All right, and as always, auto reload settings. If it agrees with you. Always select any changes. All right, so in the project, you're going to go to your POM XML. You do spring framework.cloud, and then you do spring in the artifact ID. Dash cloud, dash starter. OAuth 2. That should load that. And if we did, I think there's sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't for me. So I do Spring Cloud. So sometimes if you type out the name, it'll actually fill out the whole thing, the dependency piece.
Is there a reason why the OAuth 2 is red?
Yeah, I'm not sure why.
Do we know if you need a version number or something?
Oh, I know why. So under the Java version, you're gonna put Spring Cloud, Spring-Cloud .version. And it's Hoxton .sr10. That might have to be capitalized the SR. So that should clear that up.
Hover over the red again. Let's see what the error message is.
OAuth, it put, oh, well, I guess not. I don't know. Are you using a different OAuth 2? Because I have OAuth 2 client.
Oh, OAuth 2. Oh, here. Oh, see, cleared up.
Go figure. All right. What?
No, we went back. All right, so let me see. I think you
Weird.
might have to change the version. So go to 2.3.8 release. One snapshot. Java 11. Some properties. Start with security. We have a dependency that we need. So you should build, and it should find it.
Mine are all red still.
That shouldn't be.
Are you using a different OAuth 2?
No.
Because the one I have from Spring Boot is spring-boot.starter dot starters dash OAuth 2 dash client.
No.
That's
the one that I have is org.springframework.cloud.
Cloud one for
Oh,
newer versions of Spring.
Because I put that in through that Spring initializer through this software. So they're using old software.
So
I'm not sure.
See? Boop, boop. Working. Boop, boop.
All right, can you just leave this up?
Yep. Well, either way, I can run off of this one. Just you guys won't see me typing. And I'll figure out why the other one's not working. Let me know when you're ready.
You open this up in the same window or a different window? So you can just go back and forth, take a look at the two versions to see what the difference between the two is. But if you open it up in the same window, then never mind. So.
Oh, I hate you, menu.
I think you can use it's like the window, the Mac key and left, or I think it's a control option. That's it. There you go. So sometimes I know you can just hide the project screen on both. Take a look at these. See what the difference between the two are.
Yeah, 'cause it's still not working for me.
Scroll up on that one. So go to the top on both. Start there. Starter web need to go first. Starter OAuth requires that. So far, that's the one difference. On the right-hand side, the Spring Boot starter web is the first dependency.
Yeah.
Move the mouse for a second. The lines, the ones that are highlighted right now. So that dependency there. The other one, that dependency is first.
Thirty. There's no release on the one on the left for Spring Security.
There's no what?
Release version.
Line 32 on the right-hand side.
32 on the right-hand side. But I don't know if that really makes a difference because security is
I
still
wouldn't think
highlighted,
so.
right? Correctly.
I wouldn't think so, but I'm just trying to see what the differences are between the two.
That's all right. We'll make them exactly the same.
Exactly.
I hate you most. Copy.
Because the goal here is to understand why it's not happy.
Yeah, I don't understand why it's not. It should be.
There you go. The little light bulb is there.
Can you go ahead and highlight lines 25 to 28 on the left-hand side and paste them? Maybe there's a missing character or something or a letter that's wrong that we just don't see. So the OAuth 2 on the left-hand side, those 4 lines that do the OAuth 2, just highlight those 4, and let's just make sure there's nothing just misspelled there anywhere that we're just not seeing. I don't think so, but, and this is just weird, but yeah, I didn't think so. Nothing changed. That's a strange one. Something different to look into later, but look into it later for that. That's surprising.
Well, I went and did everything off Spring Initializer with the same dependencies you're using, David, and and it worked. It took a while, but it did work. But there's something wrong with the version, using an older version.
You guys hear me?
It'll tell you that that doesn't want you to use the older version, but it doesn't matter.
Can you guys hear me?
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
I can
Titus.
use
Oh, okay. Because I just used headphones for the first time. So maybe I think it's definitely I would say something with it being like maybe you commented it then uncommented it. When you were first starting with Maven, that's the only thing I could think of. I'm just coming in like now saying that looks like the dependency is not working in the Spring Boot initializer. Is that correct?
All right, so this is building. So it says build completed. No, it still doesn't like it.
Kind of, it does say build completed on the bottom, but I don't know. Weird.
Well, either way, we're gonna type it out and I'll show you what it looks like when it runs on the left side. So
Go for it.
at least you get the experience. All right, so you're gonna go to your source folder. You're gonna go to main. Right, like I said, your mind's gonna be blown on this.
Yeah. Okay. I thought it was. It's not just me.
I'm 76, bro.
Dennis, mute yourself. We gotta talk to others.
Dude, I never touched it. Never touched it.
He can't hear us because his headphones are off his head.
Yep, I'm noticing that.
You're gonna do enable.
Hold on. Titus, remember to mute yourself when you take your headphones off because we can still hear you. So I got you though. I muted you.
My first time using them. My bad, guys. Can you
We
guys
figured.
even hear me? Can
Yeah,
you hear me though?
You can now. Yeah, you unmuted yourself. But yeah, remember, you got to talk to someone, unmute yourself. That's all.
Yeah, my bad. My bad. I'm being
All
used.
good. Yep, that's it.
So that's the one that obviously because it's not working, it's not auto adding it. So you're gonna do REST controller.
Hey David, what version of Java are you using? I wonder if it has something
Java
to do
11.
with the. I wonder if it has something to do with well, maybe not Java version, but sometimes it's Spring Boot version too.
Well,
did
I
you-
changed the Spring Boot version.
What's up?
You said yours is working, right?
Mine? Not for. I didn't do OAuth.
Okay, so what needs to be added? So I figure out why it's not working, and I'll send you guys the fix. Will be Spring Framework boot auto configure security. So there it is, OAuth 2 client. Enable.
Small a. Line 9 has a small a, just so you know. You did OAuth with a small a on line
yeah.
9. But yeah, I don't know which one's right.
No, yeah, it's capital A.
Cool. All right, cool.
All right, so we're going to do a get mapping here. And that's obviously for the home. So we're going to do public string message. You're going to return. Principal.getName plus so when you log in, you should see this message and it should, bring up your information from the information that you put in at GitHub. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to add to resources. I'm going to add a file. It's going to be application.yaml. And in the YAML, I'm going to start with security. And this is all lowercase. And you're going to do client. So this is the information that you got from GitHub, the client ID, which is, it always shows you. So if I go back to GitHub, there's the client ID for your app. Then you're going to do client secret. seconds. I don't remember where I put it. Just type it out. So just cut and paste yours. Okay, and the next is your access token URI.
Heads up, after this video, you'll have to delete that other client secret now. We probably should have kept the other one.
No, that's fine. I'll delete it.
Just letting you know, we now all know it. So.
Well, if you want to use my app to authenticate to GitHub, by all means, it makes me popular.
Ooh, tend to hack stuff, don't you?
Right? So github.com/login/access_token. And the user authorization URI. And that's going to be github.com/OAuth/authorize. And then you can do client authentication scheme, and that's going to be form. And you're gonna back tab one time, and you're gonna do a resource. User-info-URI. And it's going to be api.github.com/user. And then you're going to do prefer -token -info, and you're going to set that to false. So once you have all of that, you're ready to do your OAuth. Let me try to see if this is done. I'm gonna figure this out though for you guys.
I put in a dependency from the Maven dependency for that Cloud Spring off in the chat. I'm not sure if it's the right one or not, but it's 2.2.4 release.
So with that information, with the one that I got working, it's the same. All the code is exactly the same that we just typed out. It's
Yeah.
build and run. All right, so this is up and running. And see, and there it has my name, David Jones, R.I. Red. For some reason, I don't know why, Cliff, but it holds on to my information, even though when I kill the
Go ahead.
when I kill the tab or the whole browser.
There's a little buzzing going on.
Yeah, that's my fan.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. So wait, you're closing the tab and it's still saving, because that means it's using some sort of session key or something like that. Most likely cookies. So it's storing it in cache. This could be part of the OAuth system. Java is using a cookie or something, or using some sort of session ID where if you close the browser, then it will reset it. But
Yeah, I'm gonna do it from Safari, so it should just pop up.
yeah, that shouldn't use the same item.
So when it doesn't save the session, this is what you'll get. And as you can see here, it's asking me to log in through my GitHub username and password. So with a few pieces of code and a little tweaking, right, you can get this OAuth to work, and you can use this for authentication.
And so I can give a little more insight into how OAuth works. So OAuth is really cool about it. If you look up at the top of the URL, where is he right now?
GitHub.
Yeah, he's not on his application anymore, is he? He's been sent from his localhost application to the GitHub link. And now, David, click on that for a second.
On the link?
Yeah, you click the link. Now, anywhere here, do you see David's URL, the localhost URL? Nowhere, right? Localhost is nowhere in that URL, right? Oh, there it is. But
there it
you
is.
see the word localhost. But note how we're not running from his system, though. We're not running on his application at all. His code isn't running at all. This is all GitHub system. So David's system will send you to GitHub, and then you're on GitHub site using their OAuth agreed upon system. OAuth is an agreed upon process. What happens is when you fill out the information, OAuth, the GitHub system then says, okay, that callback URL that was set in the settings, I'm now going to send a request to the browser to that URL with the OAuth information that David's now expecting, that his application should be set up to expect now, the token. And so what happens is that this is a way for you to use your GitHub login credentials without actually having to give those username and password to another application. So David's application never gets your GitHub username and password. Never gets that. You give your username and password to the third-party application. The third-party application then gives a token to David's application to say, here's a token you can use to act as this person. This is your proof that the person gave us a valid username and password for you to act as this person. That an OAuth is not any sort of bill, it's not any sort of like package really. Now there's packages to make the process easier, but what OAuth really is an agreed upon standardization of logging into third-party systems. It's an agreed upon standard. All systems, all companies or API or developers understand that OAuth is this recognized way of logging in as someone through another service, so that you can then act as that person. Facebook has it, Twitter has it, GitHub has it, LinkedIn has it. A bunch of sites have this system. So understanding how the OAuth process works is really, really useful. If you've ever actually signed up for any sort of system where you had to log into your bank credentials, for example, that uses an OAuth type system too. In most cases, you're not giving your bank login and password information to that application. You're still logging in through your bank's login system. And then the bank is giving a token to this third-party app to say, hey, yep, they gave us a valid username and password. Here's a token so that you can act as that person because they've authorized you to do so. So that's why OAuth is a really powerful tool and can be a really great item to just showcase on at least one of your projects. Utilizing OAuth in some way on at least one project can be really useful to know because it's a widely used, agreed upon system that makes authentication using other systems really, really powerful. So I would definitely recommend everybody at least do one OAuth item. It can be a little dizzying at first, but it's actually really, really powerful and can be really useful to have and showcase that you at least used it once. So that's why I was 100% game for David to show this. But it's a way for you to log into sites without having to worry that that site is getting your username and password. So, anything you want to add, David, or does that sound good?
No, that's perfect. So you just, if you remember from the, like I said, from the last couple of security authentications, the simple being the easiest, and then we did that digest security. But if you notice, this was even easier. We didn't even have to make any pages or anything like that.
Yeah, because you're using the login form of another application.
Right.
We're taking advantage of that. Mind you, now this means that the only way your users can actually log into your site is through GitHub. So if they don't have a GitHub account, they can't use your system. So do be aware of that.
You can't do multiple OAuths too.
You can, but that requires more complexity.
Yes.
I'm sure you've seen on several apps. Yeah, it is definitely possible to use multiple OAuths. Like I'm sure you've seen it where they say, oh, sign up through Facebook or Google or Apple.
Right.
And those are all three of those are OAuth systems. So that's why I was mentioning sometimes your callback will include the source of it, so you know who you're going through. Yeah, there's a lot of things to do with this. Very powerful stuff. Very good to see. And it's good to be exposed to this. This is, again, OAuth is a widely used, agreed upon format now. So it's good to at least know about it and understand it and play with it a little bit. Any questions for David?
All right, guys. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the class.
Thank you, David. Stop the recording.